All right, everybody, we've got Coach Barnes here. We will use the raise hand function for questions, and we'll get started. Doug Feinberg, go ahead. And Coach Young, there you go.
Hey, Coach, good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you too.
So obviously lots been made in the last 24 hours about all the inequities and all the other stuff. You have perspective being a former player besides being a current coach. Do you think things are the same, better, worse than when you were playing as far as all the stuff that's going on? I know it's different because we're in one city and this isn't the normal time with COVID, but big picture, do you see the things getting better than when you played? Same, worse?
No, I think for sure that they're better than when I played. I think just as far as if you think about when I played, facilities, we had nothing like what we have at Arizona. I mean, what we have at Arizona is beautiful. When I was in college, we had like a community showers, we had a locker room, nothing compared to the men at the time. So definitely things are better. We've made a ton of progress, but they're just not where they need to be right now.
And if I can follow up, I know it's good in a sense that everything got out there via social media, that people understood what was going on. I'm guessing as a coach, if there was a problem on your team, you'd rather be handled internally than somebody blasting it out first on social media for you to hear about it that way. I mean, does that help things in some areas that more people may find out about something as opposed to, hey, let's try to handle it internally first. And if it doesn't work, then blast it if you want.
Yeah, I think definitely as a coach, you definitely want to handle things internally. You want to address the problem. I think, but it's so unique here. No one knew what to expect in San Antonio. So I think I didn't honestly think of the disparities until I saw the picture. I saw our weight room situation. Then I saw the men's. I was like, whoa, once I saw that, I was kind of like, yikes. That's not fair actually. But there's a lot of differences. I think that, I don't want it to be the focal point of the tournament. We have so much good basketball, so much parity this year in women's basketball. So I don't want the focal point to be all the disparity, all the comparisons, I guess. And there is a disparity, but there's a lot of good basketball. There's so many positives. We are playing during a pandemic. So I think we need to look at the positive things and we just have to fix the other things because there's a difference.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome. Thank you.
PJ Brown.
Hi, Adia. Getting back to the basketball stuff, besides all that other stuff, what has the first few days for you been like of, this is your first time there as a coach and bringing your team back? How special has this been the last few days?
It's been really special. Because I've obviously been here as a coach for a different team, not as a head coach, but when I was here with Washington and as a player, it's really different in a non-COVID year. So the players that haven't been here, I'm trying to get them to visualize what it's like in a normal year with thousands of people walking around, all the festivities, all the excitement, the whole city's kind of shut down for the tournament. So I'm sad that the players now can't experience that. But I think for us, there hasn't been a drastic change. We've been kind of dealing with this the whole year. We've been on the road, been on lockdown, so it's not that different, especially for us in the Pac-12. So we're just really excited to be here and be playing. It has not been that bad. Yes, I know the sound of it is okay, lockdown for a couple of days, but it really hasn't been bad. We've been walking over to the convention center for testing. The difficult parts are, as a coach, it's like not being able to walk downstairs. There's like a convenience store or a gift shop in the hotel. So like you walk by it every day and you look there, you can't go in there to get anything, or the coffee down there. I think that's stuff we've been able to do all year. So not being able to go do that stuff kind of stinks, but it really hasn't been bad. I think it's been operated pretty well so far.
Right. And what I saw, I guess on Instagram or something, that you had a game night last night. What other things are you doing with the players to sort of keep them engaged while they're in a room by themselves for much of the day?
Yeah, the day's been kind of broken up and it's gone by pretty fast. So I know that because it is an exciting time and it doesn't feel the same as a typical NCAA tournament is. So I just tried to be intentional about, okay, let's do some fun things. So we played I think it's called Heads Up, whatever, the phone where you flip it. I think it's Heads Up, right, Adam? So we played that, like with the cell phone, you got to ask questions and act it out, like charades type thing. just trying to make it fun. We like gave them a gift bag downstairs full of stuff and essentials for, the tournament here. Just trying to do what we can. And, last night was a lot better because we were able to go eat together in a conference room. So that felt like something really special because, the previous nights we haven't been able to do that. But we're fine and we're enjoying the moment. We're loving being here, loving playing. We're all safe. And so I just have no complaints. I think that, yes, I know there's a lot of focus on the disparity for sure. That's there. But I think it's us right now in the moment. We're so focused on Stony Brook and we're so happy to be playing. We're happy that, no one's tested positive. We're like ready to go. So I think that all that stuff is just kind of the other stuff, the noise. We're focused on what we need to do.
Thanks.
Troy Hutchison.
So, Coach, how much does it help to have a player like Ari not only be your star player, but she's experienced this tournament vibe at Washington? I know it's not the same, but does it help having her been through that already?
Yeah, it helps. Ari's been through that, Bendu, and Shayna. So it does help just having some players of experience. Because think about it, we were a team that should have been here last year. So that would have been our whole team with experience, except for our freshmen. So, we're missing not having that veteran experience from the whole team. Like Sam, this is her first time. Kate, this is their first time. But yes, it definitely helps having Ari. She has the knowledge. She was in a very different role at Washington, so I think it feels a lot different. But they're excited. I think the other thing that's different for us is, remember, a couple of years ago, we were always the ones hunting. We didn't have the X in our back. We were always trying to get the upsets. We were always the lower seeds and everything, whether it's Pac-12, Pac-12 tournament. But now the role is different because, we're the higher seeds. So we're the ones being hunted, the targets on our back. So it's a different type of pressure. And we didn't get to experience that last year. So we're excited. But Ari, Bendu, and Shayna have helped us with knowing what to expect.
And then looking at Monday's matchup, how would you describe Stony Brook as a team?
A very disciplined team, coached well, very good defensively. They have a dynamic point guard that's very similar to Ari. Get really good in transition, really good at finishing right or left or around the rim, can shoot it, but it's more of a strength in transition and going to the basket. They're a good team. They don't have really any bigs, but they're versatile. They do a lot of different things. So we're gonna have to move the ball, play solid, and just play our basketball. I think that the advantages that we have definitely inside. I think our quickness will be an advantage, and I think our defensive pressure will be an advantage if we play it the way we're supposed to.
Cheryl Coward.
Hi, Dia.
Hi.
You are now in an elite club of head coaches ever to play and coach in the tournament at their alma mater. What does that mean to you? I mean, I don't know if you've even had time to think about it, and has your team said anything about it? And just kind of looking back on your career, what does that mean for you?
No, I really haven't had time. Everything's happened really fast. I've had a tough couple of weeks, so a lot's been going on. But no, it's funny. I don't even know about that stuff until I read it. So I think PJ wrote it. I read 1 of 11. I honestly didn't have any idea. I don't look at that stuff. So a lot of times I find out the stuff when someone will send me an article and I'll say, oh, I didn't know that. Because if I think about all that stuff, I'll go crazy. But I think it's an honor. It is, to come back to your alma mater and have success, that's meaningful. And it's funny because a couple of my friends are the other coaches at their alma mater. So, I'll text them, oh, congratulations, you're one of them. But it means a lot because this place is special to me. It's Arizona. It's where everything started for me. And I always say I chose Arizona twice. And I had a vision of coming here and doing something special. I didn't know how long it would take. And I was able to talk some good players into coming and help us out. And they're the reason why we're here. So just happy and blessed and enjoying it. Sad that our players can't enjoy a typical, San Antonio is a great city with great people and passionate people. And this place would have been rocking if it was a normal year. So I'm sad that that we don't experience that until hopefully we'll make it to the Sweet 16. But just excited that all of our hard work's paid off and we're here and we're enjoying every moment regardless of what it is. And it's COVID year, so it's different. It's unprecedented. No one knows what to expect. But hey, we're playing and I'm happy about that.
Thanks.
Hey, you're welcome.
Ryan Killepier.
You talked about Ari. I'm just curious if you've seen a different kind of focus from her this week. I mean, this is her last go around, and I know one of the big reasons that she came back was for this moment.
Yeah, I see a different focus in our whole team. I said that at the beginning of Washington, or not beginning of Washington, beginning of the Pac-12 tournament, but I think there's an excitement. There's like just a different look in their eyes. The practice is a lot sharper. It's less time, so the players are probably happy because we only have a set 90 minutes. So they're probably like, yeah. So they're excited about that. But there's just a focus. It's clicking. We're going faster. Everything's moving smoother. So that tells me there's more of a focus. We're talking. I think it's just tournament time. So I think at this point, everybody kind of steps up a little bit. And I've noticed that. And the catalyst behind all that will be Ari. So definitely she looks a little bit more focused, tuned in, just ready to play. It's a long time to wait in between games. So I think if you said, do you want to play tomorrow? I think everybody would choose to play tomorrow.
And where's the line between being really excited, but then also maybe the downside of that of coming out and being too nervous in a game?
Yeah, so that's going to be the challenge for us because remember, Ryan, last year we didn't get this experience. So if we would have got this experience last year, we kind of would know what to expect. And I had a talk with some of the players just during our testing today that said, we're in like a neutral place. So usually the advantage of being the higher seed is you get to host the first couple games at home and you have your 10, 50, we'd have 15,000 fans. But here it's neutral. It's a place that none of us have played at. We don't know what to expect. So there's really not an advantage. So I think you're going to see a lot of different outcomes than are expected. So, yeah, we don't know what to expect. I mean, Ari hasn't been here for a while. Sam's never been here. Kate's never been here. Trinity's never been here. So there is going to be the nervous, but nervous is good for basketball. Scared is bad. And we don't have any players on our team that are scared. We have a lot of players that are nervous and they get nervous. I think our trainer sometimes calls us the Pepto team or something because a lot of people get nervous stomachs, which I guess is a normal thing. But I think there's an excitement. There's everybody wants to be here. This is what they worked for. And I see that in their eyes. And it's feeling every day more and more like tournament. I don't know how to explain that, but it's kind of getting more real as the days go on. So I think the players are just really excited.
Kim Doss.
So we talked to Coach McCombs at Stony Brook a couple days ago, and it was, she talked about defense is our identity. We wish we shot the three better. And, there's a lot of these, they have never been, you haven't been in 16 years. There's a lot of these similarities. Have those kind of hit you about what this means for both teams now?
Not really, because I just am trying to figure out a way that we could be successful. I don't really think about us not being here in 16 years. I know that in the back of my mind because people talk about it, but I don't let that stuff kind of distract me. I'm more thinking about, okay, what can we do to beat Stony Brook? Like, they're a really good team. We respect them. They do X, Y, and Z well. How can we win this game? I try not to think about all the other stuff because it then becomes stressful. If you start thinking about all that, it's stressful, it puts more stress on the players. So for me, it's like, you don't ever look ahead. You take one day at a time. Our focus was to get better today at 3 things. And then tomorrow I'll get better. And then Monday, we just got to think about them. We are not the type of team that can, go and like think ahead. So we saw that this year with the ASU game in the Pac-12. That's not us. And I'm real and I know that's not us. So that as a coach, I recognize that and I have to not do that, not allow our team to do that. So we can't look ahead. So we respect Stony Brook. We're both solid defensive teams. And, I think the hardest teams to play are the teams that have nothing to lose. So they get to come in there, they're the lower seed. So it's dangerous to play teams that have nothing to lose because they just go out and play with no pressure. So, and we saw that against ASU this year, and we saw that at Wazoo this year. So those are learning lessons that I hope, pay off on Monday.
Claudia Rupchich, sorry if I messed up your name.
It's okay. It's Claudia Rupchich from ABC 15 in Phoenix. How are you? I know the focus is winning and you're super excited, but I'm going to go back to the disparities thing just because this has brought something to light that a lot of people who don't follow the sport or women's sports in general maybe weren't aware of that happens on a regular basis. Yeah. And a lot of people are, kind of appalled by it because it's a blatant disparity and difference. And so I wondered for those people, for those who aren't in the game and haven't been playing for years and years and kind of seen this, what would you say your message is to them? Is this something that you guys are just used to and you're just like, hey, we're here to play and we deal with this BS on the side, or is this something that it's just part of a problem that you're hoping to fix?
Well, I think that, so if I've been a female athlete my whole life. So for me, it started with like childhood. So if you go back childhood, there was no girls team when I was 10 years old. So I played on all, so for me, it's been something that's always been like that. Is it better? Now I have a voice, I have friendships, I have followers, so we tweet about it. So there's more recognition, but this has been going on forever. I had no girls team, so I played on the all boys team. There was no girls allowed on the boys team, so they had to get approval for me to play on the boys team. So I mean, it goes on and on and on. We've never had similar facilities. We've never had like similar treatment overall through the history of all of us playing. So yes, every woman my age, they've gone through this their whole career. So I think it becomes a point where you pick your battles, you do what you have to do. But to me, it boils down to a lot of different things. There's facts and there's business and there's monetary things to it. It's not right, but it's a reality. So men's basketball makes a lot more money than women's basketball. So it does happen to be that more money is poured into that. So I think that one of the key things is women run households. So go support women. And women don't support women, first of all. We don't follow women's basketball. We don't support it. We don't push the WNBA. So that's the first problem. And I think the other thing is, it comes back to money. Grow our game. You continue to grow our game, then more money, more investment. The positive thing that I saw coming from the NCAA tournament, more on main channels. We're not on like the side channel or the games aren't televised the first couple of rounds. We're on ESPN. So there is progress. It's not perfect. And I think it's opened up a lot of people's eyes. I didn't recognize the weight room thing was such a disparity because I would have never gone to look at the men's because that's just not what I'm focused on. But after it's brought to my attention, yeah, it's not fair. So I think that there does have to be thought put into that, but it's work in progress. And if you are a female athlete or a coach and you're choosing to fight every battle, you're not going to win and you're not going to last in this profession. So you do what you can, you grow the game, you make a difference, and you take it day by day. But I mean, that's what you do. And then you hope that like for my daughter, like it's going to be better. But like it wasn't when I was in college. It just wasn't. And then people before me didn't even have a chance to play. So it's like it does take time.
Thank you.
Sikala?
Hi, Coach Adia. Congrats again on getting to where you guys are at. I know you talked about some of the stuff you do in your downtime, the games and everything. How much do you guys keep an eye on the men's NCAA tournament? And how much do you utilize maybe some lessons from that with your players? For instance, right now, a number 2 seed, Ohio State, is 13 seconds away from losing to a 15 seed. So how do you do you use lessons that might be learned in some of the games that your players could be watching right now?
No, I don't really, because I'm so focused on what we need to do. But it was funny because we were watching that game about 45 minutes ago and we were testing. It was like on. So we were watching it and it was only like, I think a 6-point game at that time. But so I think generally what I would do is just talk about the upsets. And I think there's going to be more upsets. I think that what I talk about to my team is this is a different year. It's different travel. We're in quarantine. It's just very, very different. So there's more adversity. So I believe there's gonna be a lot more upsets on the women's side and on the men's side. I think for us, we have an advantage. We've traveled before. We've been on long trips. We've been on quarantine on the road. So it's not new for us, advantage us. But we're playing on a neutral ground, in a gym we've never played in without home court advantage. So that's not an advantage. So I think my thing is just keeping my players in the moment. Let us worry about us in Arizona and what we can do and just kind of stay focused on our stuff. Not worry about what we don't have, worry about what we have. Worry about how we can make the best of what we have. If I stay here and complain about the differences of what we don't have, my players are distracted. And that's not the most important thing. I don't want the message of the NCAA tournament to be the disparity. I want the message to be, let's watch some great women's basketball. Let's go cheer on our teams. Let's figure out a solution for later. Let's grow our game. Let's get tons of people watching it because it is a great product. And to me, that's the most important thing.
Okay. And then one other follow-up question. By the way, the 15 seed just won. It's official. Ohio State's out, number 2 seed. But anyways, the other thing is you talked about some of the gender equity stuff and you reemphasize that, women need to support women more often. Women are the head of households, and you being a head of a household as well at home. I heard a baby crying. I'm not sure if it was one of the reporters or I heard that. How different is it for you to balance that, caring for your child at the same time, putting in the tremendous duties you need to prepare for this tournament?
It's extremely difficult. And I can just tell you, and I'm not someone who likes to complain. I just put my head down and do my job. But I can tell you, even leading up to this, it was difficult. And it was a little selfish on my part, but what opened up my eyes was that I started to receive like 3 or 4 weeks before the tournament calls from women all over the country. And a lot of these women were in situations, they were assistant coaches. It wasn't another head coach. Other assistant coaches from big Power 5 schools, like prominent schools, and they were having to come to a crossroads of, do they leave their infant at home or do they travel them, and how they can travel them. They were given a lot of pushback when traveling their kids, or were told they weren't able to. And so I then became a voice a little bit and talked about it. It wasn't an issue I had because I as a head coach decide my travel party. Our travel party is at 34. Well, my 6-month-old now, she counts as at 34, but I have the luxury as a head coach of deciding who my 34 are. As an assistant coach, I wouldn't have that luxury. So because she counts, that takes the place of someone else. She didn't. Now think about it. My 6-month-old doesn't count on any other flight in the world, but our flight she counts on because she doesn't take a seat. So it's a dilemma, because if you have a staff, which there are a lot of women, because we're women's basketball, whether it's a trainer or an assistant coach, and say 2 had infants, or maybe they're breastfeeding, so we're the source of food for our kid. I don't think you should have to come to a decision where, do you travel your child or not? So that's my opinion. And I was surprised that that was going on so much, because I thought, oh yeah, your boss will let you, because my boss before, when I had Mateo, allowed me to travel Mateo. So it wasn't an issue. So I didn't know it was that big of a deal until now. And that's why I made some comments about it in those interviews. But it's more challenging. An example here is I'm on lockdown with a 5-year-old and a 6-month-old. And it's been hard. It's been hard because we weren't able to leave our room the first couple of days. So he was like bouncing off walls, but it takes a village. So I had support here. I have like a good friend here. We kind of have this corner area. So he's like bouncing from room to room right here, running off the walls here. And I'm making it work, but it's not easy. And I look at the WNBA, and they had this like on the floor, they had children's room. Like we didn't have anything like that. So it's been hard. So I know so many women are having some issues with it. Some have had to leave their infants at home because maybe their boss didn't support them bringing them, or they couldn't fit in the travel party. And we shouldn't have to choose between that, our family, and our jobs. We should be able to do our jobs. So I'm a firm believer that it's challenging, but everything that I've been through as an athlete, and it has been challenging, and it wouldn't be great. I don't like it if it's not hard. I embrace the hard stuff. So you do what you gotta do, and that's a part of life. But I think as a women's sport, we have to support women because women have children. That's like what we do. That's how you were all born. So so supporting us and making it easier is a big thing. And it's never been talked about because it's never been an issue. I'm the only coach in the top 25 that has an infant. And so I do see why a lot of women get out of the business and they stop coaching, because if I didn't have support from Arizona, from President Robbins, from Dave Hickey, from my executive staff, I would not be able to do this. It would be really hard, but I have the support, so I'm able to do it. And I'm understanding that I'm few and far between.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Pepper Persley, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Pepper Percy with the next.
Hi, Pepper.
Hi. I was just wondering, what are you able to bring from your experience playing in the tournament to now coaching the tournament?
I'm able to bring just, I think, a sense of calm, a sense of just knowing what to expect, and able to tell my players not to look ahead. Like take one day at a time, take one practice at a time, live in the moment and enjoy it, and just work your butt off. So I think it helps when you've actually been there.
And at most, you have 7 games left coaching Erin McDonald. What have you enjoyed most about coaching her?
I love everything with coaching Erin McDonald. So that's sad that you told me I had 7 games left possibly, because that's just not enough. I don't want to see her go. I wish I had 700 more games with her. But, her career, she's had a phenomenal career at Arizona. I know she's not ready to go home. Neither am I. So we're going to cherish every game, do our best. She's been so fun to coach. She's not only a great player, but she's a great person. And I'm so blessed to be a part of her entire journey. So I've watched her grow, not when she was as young as you, but since she was a sophomore in high school, I've watched her grow and change as a young lady. So to watch her from then until now, she's so different. So I've been a part of that whole journey. And she's special. She's special because not a lot of players can play such great offense and great defense, and they're great people off the court. So she's a total package, and I'm excited to just watch her in the future and see what the future holds for her.
Thank you, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you. Good job.
PJ Brown.
So Dia, what was it like packing for 3 weeks with not only you, Salvo, but Mateo and Capri?
Okay, if you really want to know, okay. So if we didn't have chartered flights like for this season, I don't know how I would have been able to do it. Because we have a lot. Just because the COVID like makes it's a whole nother layer because we're not using like the bedding, we're not using all that stuff for the baby. So it's been challenging. We have a lot of bags. I mean, like, I don't want to show you my room, so I'm embarrassed, but we have like 5 suitcases. I mean, we travel like a little bouncer I have. We travel like a little mobile thing. It's a lot. We travel pack and play. It's a lot of stuff. So definitely a lot of bags. But with the charter, it made my life easier because I can carry on a big bag. I have like a garbage bag full of some carriers and like a boppy pillow for nursing and just a lot of stuff. So I'm glad we have managers and help. That's why I say it takes a village. I definitely have my village here. I've had so much help, love, and support. I would not have been able to do it if I didn't have the support I have here. Like I wouldn't be able to do my job.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Last one, Troy Hutchison.
So, Coach, I was just wondering, I know right at the end of the Pac-12 tournament there, Helena played her first couple games and she was able to get back into a rhythm. How is she doing? Is there any injuries or is everybody doing well headed into Monday?
Knock on knock on wood. Everybody's doing well. Everybody's playing at a high level. Helena's looking really good. Shayna's looking good. Lauren, our starter, Samaje. I think everybody's in a good place. Marta's still a little bit injured, but she's like running on the sidelines. She'll be ready in probably the next week or two. But everybody's healthy, ready, hungry. They know it's like we're at the end. We worked so hard to get here. So I think there's an excitement. There's optimism. There's excited to be here, not knowing what to expect. There's all the things, and we're gonna see a lot more because tomorrow we're gonna play in the Alamo Dome for the first time. So right now we've been practicing at the convention center, but I think we've handled everything with grace and class. And I mean, it's not easy. It's been a tough year, but our players have been they've been phenomenal. Just everything that's been thrown their way, they haven't complained. A lot of people are talking obviously about the weights and all that stuff. So players are riled up about that, but they've been good and they've been safe and they're doing the right thing. And we've worked hard to keep ourselves in this situation. None of our players have caught COVID, so they've been responsible. So I'm just proud of everything they've done this year.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We've got Ari, Sam, Kate, and Bendu here. So we'll use the raise hand function again. So fire away with the questions. We'll start off with Troy Hutchison.
So, Ari, you guys are a couple days away from making your first NCAA tournament appearance. Just tell us what the feeling is like in the locker room, and also how has practices been going so far?
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of excitement around our program. Everybody's happy to be here. We're very lucky, and just during practice, it's full of energy, clapping, and we're still competing. We still want it. So, I mean, I just love what I'm seeing right now.
Pepper Pursley, go ahead.
I have a question for Ari. So I just asked Coach Barnes what she most enjoyed about coaching you. So I'll ask you, what have you most enjoyed about being coached by her?
That's a good question. I would just say just the aspect of her being relational. She's a very relational person. Relationship oriented. And I think that's one thing I value in life. And so I think that's why we're successful today. Just the relationships she creates, like with her players. I mean, that's one thing I love about playing for her.
Thank you, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
PJ Brown.
Yeah, so this one's for Ari. How does it feel to be right here, right now, in this place that, this has been your goal all season to get here? And you just wrote that piece for Players Tribune about how you're doing it for last year's seniors, but you're also doing it for those who came before you. To be in this moment, what's that like?
It's a humbling experience right now. I'm happy and just blessed to be here, and I'm pretty sure my teammates can say the same. This is what we waited for a year later, and we're finally here. So I mean, it's crazy just to think we'll be here. But definitely, I'm excited and I'm just ready to play, honestly.
And one more for you and Bendu and Sam and Kate, anybody who wants to answer. Your sort of first thoughts about being there, about this experience right now. Not talking about all the weight room stuff, but just for you guys to be there, to be in San Antonio ready to play in your first tournament.
I can go. I think it's exciting. I mean, for a lot of us, it's our first time. And like Ari said, this is like 2 years in the making. Like we were supposed to go last year. And unfortunately, everyone got cut short. But this is our time now. This is Ari's last year, Trinity's last year, Sam's last year. So I think it's exciting just to be able to kind of finish off the season and finally like get our answer of like how the NCAA tournament is and like how we're all going to be able to compete together on a higher level. So I think we're really excited and just we're ready to get that first game going. I mean, I feel like we've been here for like a month already.
Great,
Ryan
thanks.
Kelp here.
This is for anyone. Do you guys have any thoughts on the disparities between the men's and the women's tournaments?
I think this one.
Go ahead, Sam.
I mean, obviously, as a lot of people know because of social media, there's a little difference between the men and women's tournament. I mean, you can't deny the fact that there's a difference, whether people want to complain and say it's about money or anything else like that. There's a difference, and that's just the bottom line. And for many years, there's been a difference between men and women's stuff, especially when it comes to sports. And so I know social media like is getting a lot of attention around it and people are showing their support and everything and making all these comments. But I mean, it's easy to talk behind the screen. And so I think if people actually want to like support us and help make a difference, then they have to support us and actually watch our games, talk about us like outside of just of everything that's happening that's unfair to us, talk about how great women's basketball is, talk about anything positive about women's basketball, because I think that's honestly at the end of the day what's going to make a difference.
And an unrelated question, but Adia was kind of saying that one of the biggest challenges for your team is just battling the nerves of, I know most of your team has never played in the NCAA tournament before, and also the fact that you're the much higher seed. So how do you kind of handle that, and like what kind of things do you do to make sure by game time that you're not nervous or you're not jittery? This can be for Sam.
I mean, yeah, we have a lot.
Or Bendu, that's fine.
We have a lot of like a pressure on us, obviously being the higher seed, but I think at the end of the day, we just got to take it one game at a time because it is March Madness, and you don't look at the seeding when you play the team. So you just got to take it one game at a time. And I mean, right now we're just being our normal selves. We're making TikToks, having fun and things like that. But we know when it's game time, we got to be focused and ready to come to play.
And Bendu, you've played in the NCAA tournament before, so how much does that past experience help you this time around?
It helps me a lot, and I mean, it helps Ari too because she knows how it take or how far to go and like what it takes to go far. And I mean, like I only made it to the second round. Ari's made it to the Sweet 16, so with our experience, it just helps our team just that much more.
And Ari, is there any kind of advice that you've imparted on your teammates?
Just pretty much just saying, like Bendu said, take it one game at a time. Our opponents, they lace their shoes up just like us. I mean, it's pretty much just do or die right now. So I mean, we got to play literally like it's going to be our last game ever. So.
Cheryl Coward.
This question is for all of the players. Despite it being a pandemic year and all of the challenges that you all have faced, your coach praised your maturity and graciousness through this all, and now you've had another historic year and you're at the tournament. If you could name one thing that helped you get through this year that you appreciate about your teammates, what would it be?
I mean, for me, I would just say our perseverance. There's so many different obstacles that not only us, but every team has to kind of get past. And I think that we've done a great job when we were shut down for a little bit, we didn't really look at that as a negative. We came together. I think our chemistry got better during that week that we were shut down. So, I mean, there's been so many different things that we've kind of had to get over. And I think we've done a great job at that and just kind of stuck together as a team and just know that, I mean, at the end of the day, we get to play basketball. And I think that's one of the most important things. So that's just what we have to keep in mind. So I think that just us being resilient every day has really helped.
Kim Doss, go ahead.
So Stony Brook is kind of a defensive-minded team like you guys are. What are you expecting to see from them? And how are you going to combat things like them packing the paint and that sort of thing that you've faced before this year?
I'm expecting it to be a low-scoring game. Like you said, we're both, very defensive oriented. So it'll be a low-scoring game. Definitely be chippy, just hearing and just seeing like the personnel we're going to play. But it's definitely going to be some high-quality basketball being played. And like you said, them sitting in the paint, hey, we just got to shoot, let it fly. I don't really care if my teammates miss it. I just want them shooting, being an offensive threat. So, I mean, we'll be fine. It's another game.
Troy Hutchison.
So headed into this tournament, you guys had a rough month in the season, but you've had this time off. How do you think you guys are right now ahead of Monday?
Samantha.
Thanks, guys. I think we've been preparing we obviously had last week, which was a nice benefit of the Pac-12, our tournaments a little bit earlier than everyone else's. So we have time to just rest and then focus on ourselves, focus on our offense, not too worried about who we play and stuff like that. And so now that we finally know who we're playing, we're able to this week kind of focus on Stony Brook and ourselves a little bit more because we have had so much time. So I think we've had all the preparation, we've had all the film. Now we're just waiting. We're just waiting to get out there and play. It's going to be probably I think 2 weeks since last time we played when it actually comes on Monday. So we're just ready to play and get out there and hopefully make Tucson proud.
And then Sam, over the last couple of days, I know it's already been talked about the disparity and all that, but it was recently about an hour ago tweeted out by Dick's Sporting Goods that they're going to be sending truckloads of equipment to the NCAA women's tournament. How does it make you feel that your guys' voice through social media and your own coach's voice has helped raise awareness and change already?
Wow, I actually didn't know that. So that's awesome. It's great to know that just the power of social media. I know a lot of famous people, men and women, are tweeting out about it. And so I think that obviously helps a lot. I mean, as women, we need help from everyone. We can't do this on our own as much as we would like to. We need men, we need other strong women to help lead this and make equality actually happen. So that's actually really exciting to hear about that.
EJ Brown.
Yeah, this one is for Bendu. Over the past, I guess it's now 2 weeks since the Pac-12 tournament ended, how have you seen Aerie step it up even more of being a leader and really leading you guys through to this point?
She stepped up a lot. She's leading every aspect. She's leading us on and off the court. She's always there for anybody to talk to. She's just been a perfect leader, and we just have to go out there and play for her. She's a senior on this team that has given her all to us. So it's time for us to repay her and give our all and, try to get her as far as possible.
Great. And I have one more question. This is a little more fun. This is for Bendu, Aerie, Sam. Who's taking care of the dogs when you guys are going for this big run that you expect to take?
Devon.
I actually had to fly out my nephew to stay with my puppy, so he's out there with him.
I gave proxy to my parents before the Pac-12 tournament.
Okay.
James Johnson.
Thanks.
Hi, this question's for anybody. With a lot of players in the team that have never played in the NCAA tournament before, how much does it help to have a coach, knowing that you have a coach that has been in your shoes before and has played in the tournament?
Kate, you can take this one.
I would say that it's great because there aren't a lot of, I mean, there are coaches, but it's great to be able to have a coach that has played, especially being at Arizona. I mean, there's not many coaches out there that have played specifically at the school they're coaching at. So I think that that's great, but also her just kind of having some inside view of being at the tournament. I think that's great too. And I think it helps, especially because so little of us have been to the tournament. And just hearing her perspective, hearing Aries' perspective and Bindu, I think that that's really helpful for all of us, especially with such a weird year, like coming in here, especially with the pandemic, we all kind of feel a little bit isolated. So I think that that's great just to be able to have her insight into everything.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Good luck, guys.